Shedeur Sanders sends clear message about Browns QB competition. The Cleveland Browns are just 5 days away from the start of training camp and ultimately closer to an answer about who their starting quarterback will be in 2025. As things stand, former Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco, former first-round pick Kenny Pickett, 2025 third-round pick Dillon Gabriel, and 2025 fifth-round pick Shedeur Sanders are all deadlocked in a battle for presumably 2 spots, possibly 3. On the surface, Flacco would seem to be the frontrunner given his experience, and Pickett the backup for the same reason. Many fans are convinced Sanders and Gabriel are battling for one roster spot, with their performances during training camp and the preseason the likely deciding factor. Many expected Sanders to have a much easier path to an NFL roster when he was projected to be a first-round pick in April's draft. But after a 5-round freefall, Sanders now has his work cut out trying to force his way up the depth chart in a crowded QB room. And based on what he told reporters after the draft, Browns general manager Andrew Berry wants the path to Cleveland's 53-man roster to be a challenge for Sanders. "The message is come in and work," Berry said, via NFL.com. "Come in and compete. Nothing is being given. We told him it really doesn't matter where you're picked. It's what you do going forward." While Sanders has his work cut out for him, he also seems to be game. The 23-year-old posted a video to his Instagram page on Friday, just ahead of Browns training camp, and he seemingly sent a message about where he stands in Cleveland's 4QB race. No excuses," Sanders said. "I'll put in the work and do what I have to do. About to be time to be legendary, whenever that time is. Mentally, at the very beginning, it'll be a challenge. But I like the challenge now." Despite his draft misfortune, Sanders has maintained a positive attitude throughout OTAs and minicamp. Though most of his reps came with the second and third-team offense, Sanders told reporters instead of looking at that negatively, he approached it as an opportunity to go out and show the coaches what he can do. If Sanders doesn't make Cleveland's 53-man roster, there seems to be a decent trade market for him. Teams that have been linked to a possible trade for Sanders include the Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Rams, and the Indianapolis Colts. The Cleveland sky was overcast, thick with late summer heat and early autumn tension. It wasn't just the air that felt heavy, it was the silence before a storm. Not a weather front, but a quarterback controversy brewing like thunder behind closed locker room doors. Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion coach Prime Sanders, wasn't just another rookie quarterback trying to find his place in the NFL. He was a presence, part charisma, part calculation, all confidence. And ever since the Browns drafted him, the whispers had only grown louder. When would Shedeur take the reins? The team said all the right things. Deshaun Watson is our starter. Shedeur's here to learn and develop. There's no QB controversy. But fans saw it differently. So did the media. Every deep ball from Shedeur at training camp made the rounds online. Every sideline conversation between him and coach Kevin Stefanski was dissected like political theater. And still, Shedeur said nothing. Until now. It was a Thursday. Not game day. Not media day. Just another practice. But after a 2-minute drill where Shedeur dropped 3 dimes in a row, one a 40-yard laser between 2 defenders, reporters swarmed. Cameras clicked. Mics extended. And for the first time since arriving in Cleveland, Shedeur stepped up to the podium with something to say. His chain sparkled under the hot lights. He wasn't wearing the uniform, just a black hoodie, gold-trimmed sunglasses, and that smooth, measured smile. Someone shouted the first question. "Shedeur, do you think there's a real competition at quarterback here?" He didn't blink. "I think competition's what this league is built on," he said, voice calm but sharp. "If you're not competing, you're retreating." There was a pause. Reporters leaned in. He continued. "Look, Deshaun is the guy right now. He's earned that. I'm here to work, learn, and push everyone around me to be better. But let's not get it twisted. I didn't come here to hold a clipboard forever. I respect the vets, I respect the process, but I also respect my purpose." The room buzzed. There it was. The message. Direct, not cocky, just clear. Shedeur Sanders wasn't asking for the job. He was coming for it. On his terms. In his time. Behind the scenes, tension had been simmering for weeks. Watson, still recovering his full form after 2 up-and-down seasons, had privately welcomed Shedeur. He even joked in camp, "If you ever get the job, at least make sure I get a TV gig first." But lately, the vibe had changed. There was a new energy in the building, Shedeur energy. And everyone felt it. Receivers started requesting more reps with number 2 in practice. Linemen began pulling him aside to talk cadence. Even veteran defenders admitted that Shedeur saw the field like a vet, breaking down coverages like he was born in a film room. Coach Stefanski kept his cards close to the chest. When pressed, he only said, "We have 2 talented quarterbacks, and that's a good problem to have." But Shedeur's message at the podium went beyond any locker room rivalry. It was about identity, legacy, the idea that greatness doesn't wait for permission. "I've been around pressure my whole life," Shedeur said. "Pressure is a privilege. My dad taught me that. He told me, don't ever be afraid to speak your truth. Just make sure you back it up." So that's what I plan to do. One reporter asked him directly, "Do you think you're ready to start if called upon?" Shedeur didn't hesitate. "I don't think I'm ready. I know I'm ready. Now it's just about when the opportunity comes." By Friday morning, the headlines were everywhere. Shedeur Sanders sends message to Browns. "I'm not just here to watch." QB controversy? Shedeur doesn't blink. Rookie or future franchise star? The team downplayed it. Coach Stefanski tried to spin it as confidence, not controversy. Watson said, "I want Shedeur to be great. He's family in this building." But the locker room dynamics had shifted. Browns fans, long starved for quarterback consistency, were divided. Some were loyal to Watson, still hopeful he'd return to Pro Bowl form. Others couldn't stop watching Shedeur's tape, rewatching his college heroics, imagining what could be. And Shedeur? He just kept working. He was first on the field, last to leave. Every rep crisp, every throw purposeful. Not chasing the job, but making it impossible to deny him. His message had been sent, loud and clear. Now he'd let his play do the rest of the talking.